Okay, so now we're going to go through the setup tab. Now, this is really the tab that forms the core fundamentals of the sheet. Now, everything you do in your business has certain costs involved, they have certain targets you want to achieve, and we have connections that we create to our API access. All of this information is stored in the setup tab. We also stored a few guides that are going to help you with the imports and the data that we need to fetch to help build the sheet. But in the setup tab, we share or we store all this information, and that is going to help your sheet run efficiently. Obviously, you can change this at any point, but right now what we're going to do is go in and have a look at that setup tab. But really, you should only really need to change it once or set it up once, and then everything's pretty much done. So let's have a look now at the setup sheet. Okay, so here we are now in this setup sheet or the setup tab, and this tab is just sets everything up for controlling the sheet. There's a lot of, should we say, information stored in here which we reference to when doing calculations, when doing other things to help support you in your Amazon business. So let's go into it now. So first things first, up the top here, we've got these 4 boxes. Now, what we want to do is we want to collect information about you, who your business is. And the reason why we do that is that allows us to communicate to our servers, to get the API access, to ensure that we are authenticating you correctly. So number 1, we say put your company name in there. You don't have to, but we recommend put your company name in there because it just makes sure you know, if you look at the sheet, you know which sheet it's for. Number 2, put your email address. That is how we authenticate you with our API, by your email address. Then we've got the API location. Now this is the location whereby your sheet is connecting to our servers and the script that runs that. So don't change that, that's in red, but that's just the location of it, and our script will fetch that URL from there. We've also got your storefront there, and the reason is certain times in the future, what we want to do is improve this. And by you putting in your storefront URL, that is really going to give us some insights into who you are as a seller, but also as well, we can help support you in other things, such as maybe looking at when listings are not live in European marketplaces, maybe you're missing the buy box. We can email you and alert you because we know who your seller is, and we know what ASINs you have, and we know where maybe you are not on listings, and we can help give you insights into that data. So just by putting your storefront URL, that's really useful. And if you want to know, this is what a storefront URL looks like. We'll just load it up now. So right here, this is whereby you come in and you can see your information. This is just an example that I found whereby you can look at that information. So here you go, this is an example. So next we have the FAS sheet setup. Now this is a simple sheet that we've used in the past to help you with your Amazon forecasting sales and stock. Now this sheet is really useful in driving your purchasing every single week. But the one thing which we want to do is make sure that's set up correctly. So this is really simple to do, and we give you a great guide or a great walkthrough here that's going to help you out. So number 1 is look at your business and understand what your weekly costs are. So write down everything: Amazon Seller Central fees, maybe your sourcing software fees, your payroll costs, all those costs together, maybe it's on a monthly basis, divide it by 4 and get yourself a weekly fee. So £200, for example, that is your weekly fee or the costs of running your business. Then have a think about how much more money do I want to generate every week. Obviously you can put a bigger number as you want in there, but obviously the bigger it is, the more purchasing you're going to have to do to support that. So for us, we put an extra 50% on our costs. So we put in an extra £100. And then what you're looking at is your current ROI. You might be looking at your accounting software and seeing that you're currently running about 30%. If you're sourcing, if you're sourcing at 30%, I'd probably take about 5% off it. Be conservative, don't be over optimistic. So if you're sourcing at maybe 40%, you might put in there 35% of your current ROI. But if you've got accounting software and you already know what your gross ROI is, put that figure in here. So 30% ROI, and then what we're going to do is it's going to generate a weekly spend target for you, and it's going to generate a weekly estimated profit target. So this is how much estimated profit you need to generate every single week in your purchases, and then also as well how much money you need to spend on stock every week to generate that estimated profit. And if you do all that, when you sell those stocks, you should then make £300, for example, in our case, that's going to cover my £200 fixed costs. and give me £100 profit every single week. So it's a really simple way of just helping understand where your business needs to be on a weekly basis to drive it forward. So we also have up here on the next section, on upload price increase multiple. So our sheet has a really cool function whereby once you've purchased a product, you can generate an automatic listing uploader to send or add those products to your inventory on Amazon Seller Central. Now, the one thing we generally recommend is you might have a product today that you want to sell for £30 and the market today is £30. Don't set the price at £30 when you are creating that listing. The reason is by the time your products go live, the market might have changed. It might now be £32, £33, and as a result, you're going to sell at 30. What's going to happen? You're losing potential profit. So what we say is upload your products or set your initial price when you create the listing slightly higher than where you plan to sell it. Because obviously once you've done that, you can then bring it back down again to the actual market price when it goes live in a couple of weeks' time. So for this, what you can do is you can set a multiple. Obviously, if you set it at 1, right here, if you set that at 1, what that's going to do is it's going to set it at the price that you want to sell it at. That's fine, but you might want to set it at like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. That means you're going to upload, create those listings at a slightly higher price, and it's going to make you more profit if that price goes up between you purchasing and that product going live in Amazon. So here you can set up that price increase on creating the listings. We also then have prep costs, bundle fees, and shipping to Amazon fees. So in here, if you're using a warehouse or even prepping yourself, you can add those fees in. And what's going to happen is in the buy sheet, it's going to take those costs into consideration, and even in the profit and loss calculations, it will add those costs into the profit and loss, so you'll get a much more accurate result. You can here also as well change your VAT settings, so VAT or non-VAT registered, and if obviously the VAT rate changes, you can then go in and change the rate of VAT on your purchases or on your products, and the whole sheet will recalculate based on that VAT rate. So put that information in and that will populate across the entire sheet from purchases right through to your sales. Now down here we've got multiple sections. Now on the buy sheet there are certain drop down lists that you can start tagging purchases with. So this is called coding SKUs, creating custom SKUs. This is whereby we start encoding information in the product, and then once you've sold it, we use that encoding in the product SKU to extract the information again. So it allows us to give insights. So in here, you can set what they all mean. Now, right here, you've got the sourcing methods. So you can put in different sourcing methods. And what we recommend is keep them small. If you are going to put a sourcing method in, which is quite long, let's say, for example, if I write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the sheet is going to alert you and say, that short sourcing method is a bit too long. And the reason is the SKUs which we use to encode can only be a certain length. So we try and keep all the encoding to a very small size. And obviously we will alert you when that happens. But the good thing is the fact that you can encode it in the SKU quite small, i.e. like MS, FTF, for example, and then you can have in this light gray box the actual full name. And when we show you the report at the end, we'll use the full name, not the encoded name. So just keep that in mind. You can also put in your payment methods. And this isn't so much for the actual encoding in the SKU, but what it does do is it just allows you on the buy sheet to record what methods you've used for each purchase. And then also as well, we talk about VAs. Maybe you're a husband and wife team and you want to have a competition. You can then start coding your purchases up. So we generally call them VA1, VA2, VA3. And again, you can put your full names next to that. So keeping the encoding small, but also the full names quite long, so you can see what's a lot easier. And then finally below that, we have got some guides here. So there are 2 reports we generate or we need for this sheet to run. Number 1 is the restock report down here in the orange or yellow, sorry. And then the other one is the import sales report. So we talk you through here where you need to go, and you can click here on the links and load that up in Seller Central. That is going to get you straight to where you need to get the report. And then you can follow our step-by-step guide to make that happen. And then also as well here, you can click on the import sales data link, load it up in the Amazon in the right location, and then download the information and then just upload that to the sheet. The two other ones here we've got are purple, which are quite simple and you're going to probably look at them once or twice, but if you ever need them, they're here. You're going to use these listings or these created reports or created sheets quite a lot in your Amazon business, but these sheets allow you to add things or add products to your buy sheet, then create an automatic listings uploader sheet, and then you can upload that listing to Amazon, and then those products are going to go live on your inventory, and you can do them in bulk. So it saves you manually doing each one. You can literally add 10, 20, 50 at a time in one go, and that's just going to allow you to add these products into your Seller Central in one go, and all the SKUs will be automatically encoded, the VAT rates will be right, everything's going to be correct for your Amazon business. It's just going to speed up your process. The other one is the shipment creation. Again, what you can do is you can choose the products you want on the buy sheet, add them to a shipment, and then literally go to your shipment creation sheet, and we'll go through that later, and just upload that to Amazon, and it's going to create a whole new shipment for you with the right SKUs, the right quantities, and the right information, and it's just going to speed up your process and make you more efficient in your Amazon business. So that is a little bit about the setup sheet and how to set that up. So obviously get that set up, but once you've pretty much done it once, you probably won't need to edit it much anymore.